Here's a great example of not always needing to lean in and get your body weight going forward into a ground stroke. And by the way, make sure that you have subscribed to Court Level Tennis. These are the kind of videos they have. It's absolutely incredible content, and I've put their link in the description below. All right, let's watch this point, and then we'll diagram it. All right, so there's one forehand in particular, and it's this one right here that I want to talk to you about. I want you to notice, now obviously he's a lefty, all right, so pay attention to that. He's got his front foot, and he's in a semi-open. This is a perfect example of a semi-open stance. And I want you to notice how he's not leaning in on this shot, but he's actually pivoting on his back foot, and he actually moves his front foot back. Look at his front foot move backward. It is vital that you turn your hips into a forehand. You want your hips to rotate as you're hitting the ball, but you cannot always lean in and make it so that your front foot is the foot you're pivoting on. Sometimes you need to pivot on your back foot. Realize something, that rotating into a shot is more important than getting your weight going forward into the shot. Tennis, especially the forehand, is a rotational shot. So it doesn't matter if you're rotating on your front foot or rotating off of your back foot, or think of pivoting on that foot. And here's a great example of Rublev hitting a return of serve down the middle, and he smoked this ball, by the way, right at Malkin. And look at this. The server is leaning back as he hits this ball. One of the hallmarks of this is actually someone who finishes up above their head, because then you get a lot of spin and you can kind of dip that ball back down into the court. But you don't always have the opportunity to lean forward into the shot, and sometimes it's not even desired. Sometimes you'll actually get more power into the shot if you pivot on your back foot and rotate, especially when your opponent hits hard and deep. You're going to kind of catch the ball a little late and you're going to finish up above your head. It actually makes more sense to pivot on your back foot, bringing your front foot behind you. Now, to help you practice this at home, get a Topspin Pro. You can use my link in the description below, and I'm also going to pin it in the first comment. I don't want you to feel like you always have to lean in when you hit the shot. What's more important than leaning in, I mean, that's important. That'd be great, because then when you hit, your body weight's going towards your target. You can attack and go to the net if you get your opponent in trouble. But the most important thing is you've got to be able to turn your hips into the shot. So sometimes you have to lean back in order for that to happen. Because if you lean in, the ball's on top of you and you just don't have the time and the ability and the space to be able to rotate as needed. So you see this all the time from the pros. When a deep ball catches them off guard a little bit, maybe out of a serve, which was the situation we just saw, you see all the time that the pro, they're going to pivot on one of these feet. They're either going to pivot on their front foot or they're going to pivot on their back foot. And coming out of a serve and a nice deep return, you see them pivot off their back foot all the time. So with your Topspin Pro, you can get in a semi-open stance. You're going to take your back foot, lean on your back foot, and after you hit the ball, land with your front foot behind you. And we actually saw Malkin finish above his head. It's a very upward swing where you're trying to get a lot of spin and a lot of lift up above you. These are really simple ideas. If you're a parent, you got to get one of these for your kids so they can be working on all these ideas, so then when they go on the court, it's automatic. It's automatic. All right, I'll do this on the backhand as well, because it's no different. The ball is hit really deep. You don't want to hit and go like this. You don't want your front foot to cross in front. You want it to go behind. That way your hips can twist. You can't always lean in, but you want to rotate as you hit. And you can do the same thing on a one-hander. You can rotate. If you're leaning back, you don't want to do this. You don't want to step across behind you or in front of you. You want to go behind. Now, a simple way to practice this as well, not just on the Topspin Pro, is go to playyourcourt.com/2minute tennis and find people in your local area right now. Find a list of all the people at your level, maybe slightly above your level, people in your local area who are dying to play with you, and maybe you don't even know that they're around the corner. So go to playyourcourt.com/2minute tennis using my link in the description. I'm also going to pin that in the first comment as well. Or you can click that card that popped out right there and find people in your local area today to go play against. You can even find coaches to help you work on this concept as well. Work on the reverse pivot. Rather than always feeling like you're going forward, sometimes you got to pivot moving backward. And in certain situations against deep ground strokes, there is no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.